Ger, your highlight from the Under-21 Championship this year, some cracking matches. Was it an individual performance or a specific game?
Even though there was some great performances all through, and you could name a few of them, but to me the Munster final on the Wednesday night in Limerick was an absolutely cracking game. You know, as I go around the country, I still hear people talking about the game that they saw on TV that night. It really was a cracking game, a cracking occasion. Extra time, under lights, Wednesday night. I think it had everything that you would wish for. And even though some brilliant performances all the way through, and some of those guys will feature in our Player of the Year, I think for me the memory would be that Munster final in Limerick.
Yeah, obviously the highlight would be winning, Galway winning on Saturday night, Joe, but what else was up there for you as a highlight of this year's championship?
I think actually the Munster final, and especially Aidan Walsh's point to equalise the game, you know, it was an unbelievable point that you won't see, like, in the situation that it was, to draw the match and put it into extra time was unbelievable. And where he scored it from and where he got the ball, you know, them things don't happen very often, and that was probably my highlight, even more so than like Galway winning it, because they won it by so much. That individual thing was a bit more, you know, that we witnessed that in the Munster final.
And looking back over the course of the championship, Joe, who are your contenders, say your top 2 or 3 contenders for player of the Under-21 Championship?
Well, obviously there's a few Galway guys, a few Limerick, and you know, obviously Aidan Walsh had 8 points in play in the Munster final was huge, and you know, Shane Dowling from Limerick in the semi-final, and you know, Niall Donoghue especially for Galway, I think was super in the 2 matches. You know, he didn't get man of the match in either of them, but he was close enough to getting it. You know, Barry Daly, Davy Glennon obviously had a great final, and you know, there's a few of the Dublin guys. Obviously they didn't play that well in the All-Ireland final, but all the way through, the likes of Liam Rush and the other guys were top class, you know. And
I'm sure 2 or 3 of the Cork lads would be on your shortlist, Ger.
I think Joe, you know, summed up the candidates there really. Probably 2 to throw into it would be Declan Hannon. I thought played very well all the way through. In all the matches he was very consistent, played very well. I agree, I thought Shane Dowling was excellent for a minor that played with Limerick this year. I thought he had an outstanding campaign. All the Galway guys, as Joe said, Aidan Walsh would have to be a contender. Jamie Coughlin, I think, did very well for Cork in the games, in the 2 games he played. He was very good in both games. So I think Liam Rush again. So I think the contenders have been named, and I think we'll have a difficult job in making our decision.
Finally, Ger, as a sponsor, if you could have, I suppose, 3 magic wishes for next year, what might they be?
Cork to win the All-Ireland.
The most obvious is the
most
3.
obvious one, so that'll be number 1. I suppose wearing my sponsor's hat, Steve, you have to look at from point of view, you know, some of the games are still that bit too far apart. I think the Munster first round and the Munster semi-final, I think there's 6 weeks in between. That's a long gap, and maybe hopefully they might be able to look at that. I think there have been improvements this year that, you know, we've spoken to the Munster and Leinster councils, and the fact that games didn't clash and we were able to get games on different nights, that they weren't clashing with each other, I thought it was a huge improvement. So we'll be looking at that situation. You know, we've the player cam with TG Carr, I think was, you know, we've got very, very positive feedback on that. So it was nice to be the first to do that. So overall, I think there was an awful lot of positives in the championship, things that we've done, you know, behind the scenes, and I think obviously getting great matches like we did with the Munster final. But probably the attendance is okay. If you can up the attendances, maybe the councils may need to look at the pricing structure in relation to in the modern climate. Try to look at the pricing to encourage families and kids to go to watch these great games.